Alrighty everybody, we are now just days away from the grand finale of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series that a lot of fans are very eager to see because, let's face it, there's a lot of unhappy fans out there right now, but there's also a lot of supportive fans out there by, of course, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and exactly how they are liking it. So there is a division with this show. There are a handful of fans that are supporting it, another handful of fans that are actually respecting the series so far, and that's A-okay. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about Bob Chapek, the Disney CEO, is that he's been making a lot of changes behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm and over at Disney, along with the Disney executives, on really just balancing the Star Wars universe and really kind of just making sure that things are going to be done in a very organized and very well done way by John, George, and Dave Filoni. Now, like I say, and like I have pointed out several times, is that John and Dave had zero involvement with the Kenobi series. The only thing that they did do is that they called a couple of shots on some of the lore pieces that were going to be used in the Kenobi show, a lot of which was deleted, because let's face it, there was a lot of scenes that were deleted from the Kenobi series. We also talked about this about 3 days ago. But moving forward from all of this, one thing that a lot of fans have been very upset about is, of course, writer Joby Harold and exactly what's going on with him by Disney CEO Bob Chapek and what's going on with his future in the Star Wars universe, per se. Now, when you look at everything related to the Kenobi series, alright, there's already a Season 2 that has been greenlit and will be officially announced later this year, most likely on Disney Plus Day or D23 or something like that. They are moving forward with the Season 2, but on top of all of this, alright, with Disney and Lucasfilm not keeping it a secret that they see the backlash from the fans over the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, recently Disney CEO Bob Chapek fired the writer of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, Joby Harold, from working on anything else Star Wars related from this point forward. A large reason as to why Bob Chapek made this decision had to do with the fact that Joby Harold is the one that pushed for both Reva and Leia to have a bigger focus than Obi-Wan and Vader in this series, something that Disney executives have been very unhappy about for the past number of weeks. Now, with Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 already in the works and set to feature a series of new villains, there is also a Kenobi spin-off series that will focus on the Inquisitors that Joby Harold is not going to touch at all. Another reason that Bob Chapek made the go-ahead to let him go from the franchise had a lot to do with the fact that he used the Kenobi series and, of course, The Last Jedi as inspiration to create this new show for Disney+. This is a scribe that actually have happened and is not just the fans' imagination. Joby Harold is a big fan of Rian Johnson in The Last Jedi and loved his work on that movie and decided to take key parts from the movie to use in the series. So let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, listen, I mean, when it comes to the Kenobi show, I'm the type of fan, I may be, in the minority, but I'm the type of fan when I look at this, I like bits and pieces. I love specific scenes. But when I look at the entirety of the show, it really is lackluster. It really comes off like The Rise of Skywalker, or maybe even, of course, The Last Jedi at times, where it has its moments, alright? Well, The Last Jedi didn't have that many moments, but The Rise of Skywalker had its moments, so does the Kenobi series. For me it was Vader burning Kenobi, or Vader getting suited up, or another sequence that I really loved was the fact of how we got the nightmares that Kenobi was having on Tatooine. So, moving forward from all of this, the fact that Joby Harold used The Last Jedi as a template for the Kenobi show just screams that there's a lot of worry from the fans of what's going to happen in the grand finale, and that brings us to the next thing here that I think is quite worrisome, and a little bit of a too big of a similarity to The Last Jedi. Let's get right to it, alright? So, moving from that, the final battle between both Vader and Kenobi that's going to take place in Episode 6 is said to deeply resemble the Battle of Crate between both Luke and Kylo Ren as far as their dual environment goes. Joby Harold took the Last Jedi saber duel and used that as inspiration for the final duel of the series between Kenobi and Vader. This is actually something that Chapek was deeply concerned and unhappy about before even realizing it until some weeks ago. Joby is described to have loved the battle between Luke and Kylo and wanted to use the same type of environment for Kenobi and Vader's final duel in the series. So let's be clear here. It's the environment that is set to be pretty much near similar or the same as the Battle of Crait between Luke and Kylo Ren. And I think it does match up with the poster that was shown at Star Wars Celebration that really supports all of this, if you guys want to go ahead and look it up. They actually have a scene, or a poster I should say, that pretty much, shows us a scene of Kenobi and Vader facing each other with their sabers ignited. The environment, I don't know if you guys saw it, it looks exactly like Crait in The Last Jedi. The world that Luke and Kylo fought on, if you want to even call it a fight. Now, yes, this Vader and Kenobi duel is going to be a fight. It is probably going to be a lot more intense than the Luke and Kylo Ren situation, but as far as the environment goes, it doesn't sound all that interesting. It's best described to be flat open land with distant canyons. No obstacles, no place to hide, no place to block yourself through, nothing like that. It's going to be completely, separated from obstacles and really not having anything like that, which I think is a little weak, to be honest. That's just how I view it. So, Joby Harold used The Last Jedi's final scene as inspiration for the Kenobi final scene. Now, Disney, of course, and we're going to be getting into spoilers in just a second, Disney executives are described to be very frustrated over that decision as they fear the finale is going to be really upsetting to fans. It doesn't end there, however, but continues with the return of Qui-Gon Jinn in this episode portrayed by Liam Neeson. It was Joby Harold's call and Kathleen Kennedy's call to cut out 7 minutes of screen time for Qui-Gon Jinn, and they dwindled it down to more than half, or even more than that Chapek wanted to use more Qui-Gon Jinn in the show in the beginning, and Joby Harold felt that far less of Qui-Gon Jinn is more, as Kathleen Kennedy's thinking goes. All in all, Joby Harold refused to even acknowledge that Yoda is alive in the show. Even Chapek is said to have known that it came off as ridiculous that Kenobi wouldn't even try to reach out to Master Yoda. This is where Joby debates, however, if that's, of course, because Kenobi turned himself off from the Force, or something else, just as Luke did in The Last Jedi. And it's said to become a canon piece that Luke learned this ability by Obi-Wan Kenobi's Force Ghost to attach something to the series and The Last Jedi film by Rian Johnson. Once again, there's a lot of key scenes in the Kenobi series that deeply resembles The Last Jedi. I'm not saying it's, Last Jedi beat for beat, but let me tell you, if you look hard enough, there are a ton of moments that are exactly like The Last Jedi. Exactly. Very near similar, and, I think it really just kind of worries fans of what's coming for the finale. Now, thankfully, the finale is going to be a nice long episode. It's going to be in the 50-odd minute range, but there's going to be a lot of filler in between. Alright, this episode's still going to have a lot of filler. It's going to have a lot of odd scenes that a lot of fans are not going to be too interested about. Honestly, I think that episode 5 was pretty amazing, but it did have some bad writing elements thrown in there between Vader and Reva, especially why Vader even let Reva live. That made absolutely no sense to me at all. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.